Hello and welcome back. In today's session, we are going to take a look at inheritance concept in Python. What is inheritance? Inheritance allows us to define a class that inherits all the methods and properties from another class. As the statement says, there are two classes involved in inheritance. One is parent class and the other one is child class. So let us look at an example of two separate classes. I have created two separate classes here. One is class car and the other one is petrol car. Inside class car, I have this initialize method and the instance variables are color, type and price. So these are all the properties of the car. And there is a method which I have defined called getPrice, which gives us the price of that car. If you look at the class petrol car, inside the initialize method, the properties of petrol car and car are similar. Hence, I have color, type, price, which are similar to car. I have another property called fuel type, which is set to petrol. And I also have the same get price method in petrol car. As you can see, car and petrol car are related. It shares some of the common properties. I have also defined another method called fill petrol. If you look at the properties, color, type, price and the method get price are common between car and petrol car. So this is duplication of initialization of these properties. So instead of defining these properties, we can combine them and define them in a class called base class. So in this case, this class car is called base class or parent class. Okay, so what I have done here is I have removed all the common properties between car and petrol car. Now I will remove this get price from petrol car because I have the same method in the base class. Now car is the base class. Now how do I relate this petrol car to this car which is a base class? By providing the base class inside the parenthesis, which is car here. Now this petrol car will become inherited class or child class. The child class shares some of the properties with the base class. So it has got access to the base class properties by making this as a inherited class. Now I have initialization method here and this initialization method is taking color, type and price. This color, type and price should refer to the base class property. So in order to refer to the base class property, we can do that by using car dot underscore underscore unit and self comma these values. Okay, now let us create an object of petrol car. Pet car is equal to petrol car, and for initialization of color, type and price we need to pass in these parameters. So color is for example red and type is hatchback and price is, let us say, 50,000. Okay, so let me print pet car dot color pet car dot type pet car dot price. We can also call this method print pet car dot get price, comma pet car dot fill petrol. Okay, let me execute this. Okay, you can see this. Okay, let me comment out the earlier portion. Let me re-execute this. Now by using petrol car object, we can refer to the base class properties such as color, type and price. As you can see, red, hatchback and 50,000. So here get price is returning 50,000 and fill petrol is printing filling petrol. However, it is not returning any value, so that is why we are getting none here. So instead of putting this within the print, so let me take it out and call this directly, because we are already printing filling petrol within this method. So let me execute this. You can see, so price is 50,000 and it's filling the petrol. Let me create another object called COBJ, which is car object is equal to car, and we need to pass in, say for example blue, and the type is, say for example SUV, and it is 120,000. Now I will copy all these print and calling methods and I will change this to COBJ. Okay, let me execute this. Okay, so it has printed blue, SUV and 120,000 for this print, and for this print it has printed this price as 120,000. However, if you look at CObject.fillPetrol, it says attribute error. Car object have no attribute called fillPetrol. Okay, since CObject refers to car object and car is a base class and it doesn't have any method called fillPetrol, it cannot access the methods within inherited class. If you look at petrol car class, so we have referenced the init method of car class, which is the super class or base class, by using car.init method. So instead of car.init method, we can also make use of super method, super dot underscore underscore init argc argt and rb. The result will be same. If I re-execute this, I'll get the same result. So this attribute error we got because of this fill petrol method, as we have seen earlier. So let me re-execute this and we get the same output. The inheritance in Python can be of two types. One is multi-level and then the other one is multiple inheritance. In case of multi-level, here A is a base class and B is derived from A. or A is a superclass and B is a subclass, or A is a parent class and B is a child class, and C is a child class of B. So C is child class of B and B is child class of A. So A is a parent class for B and B is a parent class for C. So this is nothing but multi-level inheritance. Right now we have only two classes, that is A and B, which is parent and child. So if I extend this child class with another class, then it becomes multi-level inheritance. So C will acquire the properties and methods of B as well as A. In case of multiple inheritance, we will have two classes, class A and class B. Okay, and class C will be inheriting the properties and methods of both class A and class B. This is only an example which is showing only two classes. However, you can add n number of classes. So in multiple inheritance case, how do we know which is the base class? So in order to find the base class, we can make use of this super method. However, in multi-level inheritance, we know that B will be the base class for C and A will be the base class for B. So let us say I have a class called class car and class petrol car and class electric car, class electric car and class hybrid car. So let us take this example wherein I have a class called car and another class called petrol car and another class called electric car and there is a hybrid car. Okay, now petrol car, as we have seen previously, I can make this as a inherited class or derived class of car by adding the base class name within the parenthesis. Okay, so electric car will also be a derived class from car. Okay, now if you assume that the hybrid car can run both on petrol as well as electric, then we can make this hybrid car as both petrol car and electric car, since it runs both on petrol as well as electric car. So from here to here, this is multi-level inheritance. However, if you look at class hybrid car, this is of type multiple inheritance because it takes multiple classes into account. So in case of this example, we can depict that in diagram as, and this is electric. Okay, if you look at this example, C is derived both from A and B. In case of electric car, it is derived both from petrol and diesel. So this is how we can achieve multiple inheritance. Now going back to our previous example, sometimes it is beneficial to know which object belongs to which class. At the same time, we need to know if a particular class is a subclass of another class. Okay, there are two methods which are available in Python which can do that. First one is instance. So this will check whether pet car is an instance of petrol car class, and with is subclass it will check whether car is a subclass of petrol car. Okay, so let me execute this. Okay, it says true and false. With this we can see that pet car is an instance of petrol car. However, car is not a subclass of petrol car. In our case, it is the other way around. Petrol car is a subclass of car. Okay, so let me re-execute this. Now we get true. So that means petrol car is a subclass of this car. That is the end of this session. Thanks for watching.